It's always game day in Cleveland. He's Daryl Ryder. I'm Andy Baskin. All right, so give me your plans now. You're off. First of all, let's go through this. The rookies report on Wednesday, the vets on Friday, correct? And then you will be off to West Virginia.
On Saturday.
On Saturday. Fun.
Yep.
When does the team leave?
The team, I believe, is flying out on Friday after the conditioning tests. Because that's the technical reporting is to Berea, Ohio. They will take their physicals, do their conditioning tests and all that, and then they'll hop on a plane and fly down to the Greenbrier for their first practice, which will be Saturday at 3:45. So I will be leaving the house Saturday morning around 9 a.m. It is a 6-hour car ride from the not-so-palatial estate on the west side of Cleveland to West Virginia, and we'll head right into that very first practice. I will want to collapse, I'm sure. Once that practice is over, we have all of our first official training camp media availability, and then it'll pretty much go to like morning practices the rest of the way.
So, Daryl, I heard a really interesting story about Greenbrier, and just first of all, explain to folks what Greenbrier is.
So, Greenbrier is it's basically a resort for rich people.
Which started off as
a hotel.
Which started off as a military bunker for President Eisenhower.
Yes.
And there's some pretty secret stuff that's gone on there. And the stories are amazing about that place. So, Daryl, I want to give you a heads up. A buddy of mine was there. Okay. He won a trip there, an all-expense paid trip there, okay, with his wife, that his wife had won at some charity auction. So one of the things they got to do was go to an exclusive restaurant, which is way up on the top of the hill. And they were kind of out of character for this. They were supposed to see some guy who was going to drive them up the hill. So they go to the guy and they get in the car and they're sitting in the car and there's one other guy in the back seat. And the guy says, "Hey, how you doing?" And they're like, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on?" He goes, "How'd you know to get in this restaurant?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, it's pretty exclusive. Are you?" And then boom, he hit the brakes and he wasn't going to let them go up. And they had to call back. He was turning the car around and was going to take him back down to the main facility until they got some kind of clearance to go up high. I mean, that's the kind of sneaky stuff you're getting yourself into, Daryl. So what I'm going to tell you, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, I don't care where you are. If you see a free candy bar sitting around there, don't take it. It's a trap.
Oh. So I'm anticipating that the team is going to be bunkered away from us anyway.
Correct.
Except for when they're made available to speak with us on the daily. But the hotel itself looks like a larger version of Buckingham Palace. It's like a 4-floor white version of Buckingham Palace / the White House mixed together. And it's huge. But across the interstate is actually where the Browns will be working out. That's where the, sports complex is that the Saints and a couple other teams that have gone down there to hold the training camps and whatnot. It's going to be a long drive to and from. All the practices outside of that first one, which again will be Saturday afternoon at 3:45. The next two practices will start at 10:45 in the morning, and then Tuesday, July 25th, they'll practice at 10:30. July 26th is an off day, and then 10:30 practices Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then on Sunday, July 30th, it'll be a 9 a.m. practice because they're all hopping on the plane and getting the hell out of there and coming home. So,
where are they flying into, and where are they flying out of?
There's an airport down there somewhere.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
do you have room in the back of your car in case something's going wrong with the plane? Can you grab a couple players and bring them back?
Yeah, sure. We could squeeze a couple of guys into the back seat, and then whoever wants to ride shotgun. I got room for maybe 4 guys, but it'd be the most uncomfortable car ride ever because football players fitting in my vehicle. I'm
thinking you could take the kickers.
I'm thinking the kickers and the punter.
A couple other media type things going on. Hard Knocks. So I'm assuming the Browns are going to be a part of Hard Knocks since the Jets got the first call on this thing, right? So the Jets are good. Then the Jets, could they stop complaining about it? Give me a break. I mean, seriously, who cares? I hope they lean into it. Now I really hope that they lean into it and that they're just mean to everybody with a camera. Like they just don't smile, they don't move, and they don't say anything in front of the cameras.
Well, I think that the Jets, I don't think it's going to be an in-between thing. The Jets are going to be either really good or it's going to be a dumpster fire. And quite frankly,
I'm open for dumpster fire, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I learned about covering dumpster fires all these years in my career is I don't want to cover them. But then once the dumpster fire in Cleveland kind of got put out with the arrivals of Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, now that they have adults in the building,
yes,
I've learned that I really enjoy watching the dumpster fires around the league, like the Washington Commanders and the Jets and all these other teams. Like they're really bad. There's all this drama, all these off the field stories going on, right? They have nothing to do with football. I am like, yeah, I don't mind watching dumpster fires from afar, but I hate being in the middle of them, having to cover them. But yeah, I don't think that there's going to be much middle ground there. I think they'll be either really good or just really bad. And yeah, the Browns will be kind of sort of featured there because of the Hall of Fame game in Canton. And, obviously those festivities are rapidly approaching.
And the folks at the Hall of Fame did something really smart that they announced just yesterday about Joe Thomas.
Yeah, so Joe Thomas is going to be, I don't know, he's hitting cleanup. He's batting last.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Right. As expected, Joe Thomas will give the last induction speech for the class of 2022, or 2023 rather. Zach Thomas will be followed by Ken Riley, then DeMarcus Ware, Joe Klecko, Chuck Howley, then Darrelle Revis, Don Coryell, Rondé Barber, and then Joe Thomas. So that is the August 5th induction ceremony speech order. And then, of course, too, remember, you've got the parade that morning in Canton as well. And I guess I'm going to anticipate that he's going to be bringing up the rear in that parade as well because of all the Browns fans that are going to be there. So they're going to want to build that suspense. We got one more from here, and then we got another podcast drop. So we're now we go to our back in season mode. So
3 week.
We'll do 3 drops a week on Mondays, Wednesday. We'll record on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Sundays, and then those podcasts will drop, I believe, on Tuesday, Thursday, and Monday, maybe even Sunday night in some instances.
Sounds good. He's Daryl Ryder. I'm Andy Baskin. It's always game day in Cleveland.